Hi, and welcome to Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring. It's Thursday night, and we're going to talk a little bit about some doings in wrestling. Joel, you may have noticed that my beard's got a couple of divots in it.
Did you get into a fight with the razor?
A scrappy raccoon. Actually, no. Yeah, I beefed it. I was trimming things up and just goofed. It's been a goof of a week.
So you weren't in a fight or possessed by the Fiend?
No, not this week. No black goo, nothing of that sort.
Well, if you want your black goo to look its blackest, you can leave us a like on this video. You can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/TimandJoelPod. No, that's not good enough? You don't like that one?
What, sir, what does that even mean?
Oh, yeah, I just want people to look their best and feel their best. And I figure if they're going to be covered in black goo, it may as well be their bestest and blackest.
I suppose
that comes out wrong
true.
When you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. None of that was great. Let's move on, shall we?
Yep, let's move along. Unfortunately, there's no right way to segue into this one. Today we found out through the NWA that Josephus has passed away.
Yeah.
A wonderful wrestler, young man who suddenly passed away, leaves behind a young son, has his family, and it's awful. There's nothing more that we can say other than we send our condolences to the family of Josephus, to the people who have worked with him. He's a big loss. He played the question mark on NWA Power. He's also Josephus as well, was his character. And for those who don't know, he played Bruiser Brody in the Dark Side of the Ring. So, yeah, the man leaves behind a very interesting legacy, and it's unfortunate to see him gone. But we'll think of him fondly. Speaking of people we think of fondly, Tim, The Big Show.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like The Big Show.
He's making his big debut in AEW next week.
Yeah, kind of a lackluster debut for me, but he is making a debut.
Well, AEW did announce yesterday that, yes, The Big Show, formerly Big Show, now he's
Paul
just
Wight.
going to go as Paul Wight, his legal God-given name, Paul Wight.
Yeah.
Paul Wight's going to be in AEW. He's going to be the announcer for a new YouTube series called Dark Elevated. Him and Tony Schiavone are going to be doing that together. I, for the first few minutes, thought that Dark Elevated was that third hour on TNT that they keep talking about for AEW.
Oh, yeah. That never really materialized, at least not yet, eh?
Tony Khan said that it's still going to happen, like every other time he's asked about it. That third hour is still going to happen. It's in development, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh, this sounds like a weird thing for them to do. And then I realized, oh, no, it's still another YouTube program. It's fine. You've talked about YouTube and linear TV and all that stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just not. It's so much, man.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe Dark, as it is now on Tuesdays, will maybe get split into two separate shows that are shorter in nature?
I think that'd be better, right? Because then you could just kind of break it apart. It'd be easier to... Because, people, I don't think they're watching it all in one shot anyway on YouTube. I think they're either watching it in the background while they're working or they're coming at it, different times, like 30 minutes here and there. So,
if they're like me, then they're on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming, where they're watching Impact with myself and my pals every single week instead. And then they're catching Dark afterwards. Or maybe Dark's on the other side of the screen while you listen to us banter. Who knows? That's that's the gimmick, right? That's what you do. In terms of Paul Wight being courted by AEW, it seems not so shocking. The last time he was seen on WWE programming was January, when Randy Orton basically, dressed him down in a backstage segment.
Yeah, he was just mean to the Big Show. Big Show was just there to be meaned at.
Big Show was canceled. That was a WWE venture with Netflix. Nothing happened there.
Yeah, don't care.
And I just think Paul was sick of sitting around.
Yeah, he's still got lots of life in him, so all the power to him.
Supposedly he said he could do some matches if he wanted, so I guess it brings up the crossover legend appeal that AEW seems to have. Whenever they've brought over their legends, they seem to have a little bit more use for them as enhancement for younger talent instead of having them in matches. Sting obviously notwithstanding, because he's in a match in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
But after seeing Sting take that power bomb, it actually changed my view on Sting, at least with what we saw this past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, where we had Darby and Sting actually get physical with Team Taz.
It was good to see, and if you know, it felt right. I thought that Darby fly-in was lame, but I just think Darby's lame, and everyone's gonna be mad at me for that. I think, but it's fine, and like I am excited for their match. I think it'll be good. I think the way that they've built things with Team Taz has gone really well. So like, yeah, I think that there is a room for the Legends to get a little bit physical. We got Tully in a match coming up too now. If you didn't notice, right?
So yeah, it's gonna be 6-man, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Oh dear.
yeah, that one I'm a little bit more like we'll see how much he actually does, but
Tully's gonna take the hot tag. He's gonna hit that Canadian destroyer. He's gonna go all the way. He's gonna be the man, and that's gonna be it. By the way, people are agreeing with you in the chat that they think you're right, and you should say it, Tim.
what, the Darby's lame?
Yes.
Yeah, because Darby's lame. I'm like he's the lame. I don't get it at all, and it's so lame, and everything he does is lame and cringy.
I think there's more of a story to tell with Darby that isn't just kind of like, you know what I
I
mean?
just I don't know who's in control of his story, but if it's him, someone needs to help him. Uh,
No, and that's actually a good thing to point out, because when it comes to creative, we know in places like WWE, there are a bunch of people writing different stories at different
Yeah.
times, for better or worse, but there are people doing it. When it comes to AEW, it sounds like you've got Tony Khan and then you've got the EPs, but the EPs are kind of, or the EDs, the directors, producers, whatever, the EVPs, and they're kind of doing their thing, but they're also still working their own storylines, so they're busy with that. There's no prioritizing of stories when it comes to how they're written and how the characters are built,
Yeah.
other than just Tony Khan kind of doing it all by the sounds of it.
that sounds like an awful lot for one person, and it's just like you have to spread that work around, or stuff's gonna suffer. And I just yeah, I don't know. Darby just always comes off as cringy. Like he might be cool to like a really young kid, but even then, I don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I mean, just to, I guess, touch on AEW because we're now talking about it.
Yeah, we're deep
Um,
into it.
I mean, we may as well get into it because I mean, we'll go back. We'll talk about Raw and everything. But
Yeah.
well, I mean, right off the bat, that Moxley promo was excellent.
Yeah.
Very true, very good, very violence ahead. The man just wants to fight for his AEW World Championship, and Bloodsport's like the side quest along the way for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there anything from that 2-minute match that he had with Ryan Nemeth that stuck out to you?
No,
Other
not
than-
really. Not match wise with that. I mean, he got an excellent promo. That's what is worth talking about this week for Mox.
Going back to Sting and Darby, by the way, I didn't realize that Hook was in the body bag.
You didn't realize Hook was in the body bag? Hook
I
was in the
was-
body bag.
I
It's
missed
great.
it because I was paying attention to two screens at once. Whatever was going on NXT
Yeah,
caught my eye at the same time as whatever was going on AEW. So I saw Darby on the zip line. I saw everything that happened from there, but I did not notice. I also saw Darby, the video that they had where Darby was being dragged along by someone in the truck. I didn't hate it. I thought it was cute.
I didn't get it, but what was good, and I'll give them that, is having Hook in the body bag. I think that made a ton of sense and was a great little thing. You know, have Sting get some vengeance by doing a similar thing to the youngin from Team Taz. Makes sense to me. I thought that was good.
Meanwhile, we had the women's eliminator tournament. We had Nyla Rose and Britt Baker in a very, very good match. Again, the women are turning it up. They're doing everything that they can to bring it in every single segment that they're given, and Nyla Rose advances. Britt Baker taking a powder in the middle of that match. What did you think?
A little hissy fit was pretty funny. I liked it. Didn't detract from anything. The match itself was great. I thought all of AEW this week was really strong. The in-ring stuff was good, and all the promos were well done, and they're building things pretty well on the whole.
It's funny because between the two, I think I enjoyed NXT better because of the developments that happened through it. AEW had a lot of fun stuff, but it felt like this is the week just to get to Crossroads, and then Crossroads is the week just to get to Revolution. So Crossroads next week has the potential to be even bigger.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then this week was just kind of there. And obviously the ratings showed that it was a very well liked show. People watched it. Do you think, going back to the women's match, do you think we're en route to maybe see Nyla and Sheeta again?
Yeah, Britt not going over was a bit of a surprise to me. I really expected her to win that match. I mean, I like having, again, my expectations subverted in this, but, like, yeah, it might be building towards that. Or, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
We still have Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
we still
I was
have
about
Thunder
to
Rosa and
say,
Nyla Rose.
that's, yeah.
The only reason I'm pitching this Nyla versus Shida match is because, again, they're not building a story for the women's division. They're just creating an opportunity for someone to have a match with the champion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a problem typically. When it is a problem is when it's consistently that. And when I'm seeing the same person, or when I'm seeing the same story or the same tropes being brought out for the women's division, I'm wondering, where are they going to change it? Where are they going to start telling stories instead of just having a bunch of matches to get to the championship match?
Yeah, I mean, I do see it being Thunder Rosa eventually getting there, and then, like, what story do you tell there, right? Like, it doesn't really last. I'm glad they took a step back from Abaddon, because that wasn't going to be the thing that's going to carry them for a while. But, like, I don't know what it is going to be. Like, they do need to build something. They're going to raise Red Velvet's profile, and then Jade Cargill can step in. So maybe we can get there down the road. It's just for the next few months, like the foreseeable future, it is just going to be this tournament. And so they should kind of drag it out until after they've raised Red Velvet and Jade into something that's, like, good enough to compete against Shida.
I still wish they had done a little bit more with Red Velvet, other than putting her on Dark, putting her on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, something on Dynamite to showcase her abilities, give her something that's much bigger than just showing up and having a match against 3 elevated talent. Jade Cargill hasn't had a match yet, but she's been in major angles. She's been in major videos, just profiling her. Shaq is Shaq, Cody is Cody. I don't understand why Jade's being, or not Jade, Red Velvet's being left out in the cold.
Yeah, and especially considering she was just the squash on Dynamite up until this, right? Like, she was the person who came in to lose. So I don't know.
Back on the women's tournament, because there is the Japanese side of things, we have Yuka Sakazaki taking on Ryo Mizunami. Is there a reason to have Yuka or Ryo have that match against Shida? Or is there an interesting dynamic you could see?
The different styles of Yuka and Shida, I think, would be interesting to see. That's about it. Like, I actually did. I went and watched some of the YouTube stuff for the Japanese side of the tournament, and I was like, underwhelmed. The production values really aren't great for that.
To be honest, that's why it wasn't on Dynamite.
Yeah, and, like,
to be quite frank,
even the wrestling is not my cup of tea. What they were doing.
That's fair.
Like, it's just not for me. So I watched it. I skipped through a lot of it, but it was just, not my thing. So I could see, like I said, I think the difference in styles would be the only thing that would really captivate my interest, but I don't see them going that way, because it seems like, it just seems difficult for them to navigate this entire thing, right? Like, the only person who's coming in is the one person who they were able to get transported over here, probably. So
right. Mizunami is a larger performer, just like Nyla Rose is. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It would be an interesting matchup between the two. Yeah. On the other hand, Yuka Sakazaki taking on, say, Nyla Rose, or even Thunder Rosa would be great. You could do that for Nyla Rose. It would be like that ragdoll David Goliath type of finish. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. We're talking a lot about Nyla Rose. There's a possibility that Thunder Rosa could walk out and take the role of really her rightful place, because she has been turning heads. She's made a lot of fans out of people, myself included. There's a place for Thunder Rosa to take on.
Is she is she still NWA?
Until the end of 2021, that is the rumor.
That's a while. So,
and by rumor, I mean that's what William Patrick Corgan said, and that's what the man who owns the place says goes.
Yeah. So I don't know. He could be persuaded. I feel like you could persuade him.
Oh, absolutely. Throw some reasoning and some money his way, I guess.
Just money. I think he's easy to convince.
Main event with Phoenix and Lance Archer. The winner got a spot in the face of the Revolution ladder match. That's going to be a 3 times fast thing for me to learn. Anything jump out from that match? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great. What are you talking about? How are you not wowed? That was an excellent match. Ray Phoenix is a tremendous performer. Lance Archer wins, but he did a great job too. Like, I mean, it was good. It was very good.
The promo in the back at the beginning of the night, where the two are just kind of standing there being asked questions by Alex Abrahantes, and what has he said? Like, you're the worst tag team partner I've ever had. Yeah. I'm just sitting there just being like, why do you tempt fate? Why would you do that?
He just wanted to scrap.
Exactly. Well, we saw the scrap, and then we saw what happens next. One of my favorite parts, seeing Phoenix leap over Jake Roberts.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a rough landing, but a very cool spot.
this is very good. Oh, speaking of rough landings, do you remember when Brian Cage like did that weird power bomb onto Brian Pillman and he missed and Brian Pillman's ass went straight into the corner of the staircase? That
Oh, I
looked
don't.
that oh man, go back and watch that. It looked very uncomfortable. I feel for Brian Pillman's ass.
I don't know what was on during NXT that part because I was much more tuned in during that. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
is that?
It was
I'm trying
pretty
to think if
early. It
that
was like second match.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it was, but I just remember at one point being like, "Oh, y'all can change the channel now because it's going to be Io Shirai versus Zoe Stark," and it turned out to be a great match.
Great match.
I don't remember what it was, but maybe the tag match, not that one. Anyway, doesn't matter. Someone in the chat asking why have a ladder match and a rumble match at each pay-per-view? I don't think they're doing it at each pay-per-view, but they've definitely done
A lot.
they've done the battle royal at every match or at every show. Last time they brought in the ladder match was to get rid of doing the battle royal. It was the casino ladder match.
Oh my god, I never even noticed that. But that does
Yeah,
seem
everything
like
has a casino.
lot. I really don't give a crap about the battle royals. They do a lot of them, I guess.
They're doing it again at Revolution.
Why? For what? Another title shot?
Probably. That's what
Yeah.
they did last time. And it's a good way to kind of bridge programs between the challengers.
Yeah.
Because they did it with Lance Archer once upon a time, and it worked. And you're right. And yeah, someone else points out in the chat they've never done a casino battle royal for the tag teams. So that's something that we're working on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They got to do a lot of stuff with the tag teams for.
Yeah, so that's the first time. There you go. It'll be a casino battle royal for the tag teams. Technically, they just did that stupid battle royal.
They did,
for
yeah,
the tag teams.
They had.
Now
the
they're just giving you the spades, the hearts, the clubs, and the diamonds. Now that's the real difference here is that people come in at different times. I'm not always big on battle royals. I was big on that ladder match coming in last pay-per-view, I guess it was. But either way, when Matt Sydal decided to do something.
Yeah.
Next week, we profile all this stuff on our PW Unlimited series, but, you know, you've got also announced for Revolution, Miro and Kip taking on Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. 10 versus Matt Caster. Is that, I think that's for the ladder match. That's going to be on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, to gain entry, which shocked me because that's not anyone that we thought was going to be in that match.
Nope, not at all.
And then, of course, the big main event. There are other matches, of course, but the big main event is Shaq and Cargill taking on Cody, Red Velvet. There'll be a lot more, but Crossroads going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Let's move. Let's go backwards, my friend.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Elimination Chamber.
Oh
and
yeah,
Raw,
that happened.
That happened. Friends, Fightful Scraps over on YouTube, it had me and a host of others coming in and watching the show, giving you live reactions. And oh my God, the live reactions for the Miz cash-in was so good.
It was good. People didn't interfere in the ways that I had anticipated. Didn't happen that way. Glad that,
First, I called it.
Yes. You called it, and it's fine. I'm actually pretty happy with this this direction. I'm fine with the Miz being there, and Lashley's getting a push.
I called that too.
You did call that.
The point being, it's going to be temporary. It's not going to go all the way into WrestleMania, I should say. I also joked about new episodes of Miz and Mrs. coming, and that was one of the first things they said when he had Miz win the title.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see that. More Marjo and more Miz Dad on Raw. That's great.
No, it's good.
During that backstage segment, when you saw MVP and Miz kind of having their conversation during Elimination Chamber, were you thinking that was for the cash-in, or did you think something else?
No, what happened is what I figured would happen. Like, I figured that he was enlisting the help of Lashley because they were going to transition to Lashley's push, largely because you had talked about it on Sunday, and I was like, yeah, this is going to happen.
On the other hand, I thought for a minute maybe they were going to try and have Miz cash in on Riddle for the U.S. Championship.
Why? Who wants that? Who wants the U.S. Championship when you have a shot at the big one?
I get it, because you can say maybe you want this because you want to get into Lashley's good graces, because if he wins the WWE Championship, you get first cracks. I didn't think it was really the way to go, but in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, what if it's for the U.S. title and they're just going to swerve us because Miz taking the WWE Championship maybe doesn't make sense right now. Of course, now we know it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and like it that makes him a double Grand Slam champion, doesn't it? Like, isn't this his second? He's done it twice over now, which is great. And he'll hold this title for maybe a week. I think. Like, I would very much not be surprised if Lashley takes it, right?
Okay, so let's talk about that. There was no Drew on Monday, but
None.
we did have Braun. So Braun comes out and he says, "Real Shane's dumb. You're dumb. Everybody
this sucks.
Dumb.
You suck. Everyone sucks." Yeah, I was like, "That's great.
Everybody
This is the Braun I want to see, because like that's a dude. That's so many dudes out there in the world. That's believable art."
I love that you think that. Oh, wonderful. So
I thought it was great. That's great writing. That's human, right? Like a big idiot like Braun Strowman is just like, "You suck. This sucks. I want my way."
I hate that you're right about that, because I didn't think about that.
Oh, that's great. It was gold. And he didn't win. Like, for once, like this long-winded, ridiculous stipulation didn't amount to anything. So like, I'm hoping that he just lost and he's not in it. Like, he's had some ups and downs. Let him take some licks. He can take some losses and then bring him back later on.
So yeah, so they have this match. They do it, and they put over Lashley real big, like you were saying, and commentary is putting over Lashley, and he kicks out of the running power slam, and 1, 2, 3, clean as a sheet. That's it. And again, no Drew. So we're doing Lashley versus Miz on Monday.
Yeah.
Do we see a winner? Everyone's talking about maybe having, Lashley just take the title right now. That's it. What do we do? Do we have someone get involved like Drew? Do you think something else happens? Maybe Morrison gets involved? What do you want to happen?
Okay, here's the thing. I can see Drew coming back and being like, that wasn't a really great way to lose the title. And then they build Lashley and Drew up to WrestleMania. And I'm fine with that. I think that's a great main event. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also fine if Drew's out of the picture. He's had a great run. Like, I think that he could take a step back and let a few other guys step to the forefront for now. I don't see it being The Miz, obviously, but I'd be fine if John Morrison got a push. I don't see that happening, but I'd be fine with it. I think Lashley as a champion is fine for a while. Like let's see him face. There are a bunch of people I'd love to see him wrestle.
So in my weird brain of a world that I live in, I was thinking at one point you could do John Morrison as the U.S. champion, The Miz as WWE champion, and Taya as the Raw Women's champion.
That would be interesting. My webcam just died. I don't know.
It did.
Let
them be obnoxious as hell.
That would be great. I would love that if they just like ran a train on all of WWE, just all three of them, just being so like, Miz TV every night.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that I would want to see. Just be obnoxious, absolute jerks. But meanwhile, we have to get to maybe a Fastlane 3-way if we don't have Lashley and Miz end in the normal way that we're expecting. In a smart move, you have the Hurt Business, maybe block off the ring, maybe allow Lashley to dominate the Miz, and that's it, 1, 2, 3. Or Drew gets in after the match.
Yeah, like I don't see him interrupting the match. Like if he's going to get involved, it'll be afterwards, just as like a respectful, hey, I think I deserve another crack at that, given how I lost the title. And after winning the Elimination Chamber,
The Fiend has taken over your webcam, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
First they get your beard, now they get your webcam. That's just the way it is.
That's how it goes.
Well, while you're fixing that, I'll let everyone know that you can leave us some tip jar love over at streamlabs.com/TimandJoelPod. Maybe it'll get a new connection for Tim's camera.
I blew up my whole setup again, and now everything's just falling apart. I don't know, man.
We'll fix it.
Man, it's been a week. It's fixed. It's good for now.
For now, just leave us a like on the video. Subscribe to us on YouTube at timandjoelpod.com. Let's move along, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, Lacey's pregnant, and it's real, and it's happening. So no more talk about whether or not it's happening, because it's happening.
No, and we're not gonna. It's over. We're gonna forget about this with an emotional. Good work by Charlotte. very good acting in that little promo backstage with
Yeah,
Rick. Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So Rick seeing a lot of things in many blondes was actually a very favorite line of mine from Charlotte in
Very
that promo
good.
that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. Meanwhile, if you taking a look at the WrestleMania front, Asuka still doesn't have an opponent and did
Nope.
not have an opponent this past Sunday at Elimination Chamber.
Well, I guess it's
Why?
Charlotte now because they were a tag team for a hot minute, which gives them enough. That's all they're gonna do. They're just gonna build to Charlotte versus Asuka WrestleMania.
I see it. I
It
get
sucks. It better
it.
not be.
Or,
So many
or,
options. Yeah.
hear me out. Rhea's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple promos shown to us on Monday. Royal Rumble runner-up. So what do? We do a triple threat at WrestleMania, and it's not actually because of Asuka. It's because it's the ghost of Charlotte's WrestleMania past.
Mm-hmm.
Let the women Charlotte has beaten go after her for that Raw Women's Championship. Of course, at the end of the day, we know who wins. But, who knows? Maybe that's where we're going. Ric Flair said in an interview today with Wrestling Inc. on his 72nd birthday. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, it was yesterday, today. I can't remember anymore. Say a woo for Ric Flair. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said that the only person he really wants to break his World Heavyweight Championship record is his daughter. Above all else. I get it.
Yeah.
This is step 2. Give her another championship.
Yep.
We're not going to talk about Randy Orton's coughing fit. It happened.
It did happen. He coughed. There's black goo.
All that black ink. Next, Tim, you're going to be coughing up black ink.
Yep.
It's going to be coming out of those. Oh no, not again. So many people coughing on their streams today. Oh Jesus, no. Let's go back to the Elimination Chamber, will we? Can we? Or are you going to get?
No, we can. Let's do it.
Okay, fine. What a match! The SmackDown Elimination Chamber.
It was good. Again, like I don't. The Elimination Chamber being a part of it seems to be irrelevant to me. I don't care. Just have 6 guys stand around the ring. It doesn't make a difference anymore. There's no danger. They don't do anything with it. It's my opinion. I don't know. The spots don't excite me with the chamber. They're boring.
Are you desensitized to it? Because there were some spots.
There were some spots. Nothing that excited me.
Well, I don't know really what you expected. I don't know if you wanted them to start killing each other, because I don't know if that's going to be something to do.
Danger.
You take a screwdriver and you just start jabbing them in the eye.
Yeah.
We've done that before, and you hated the eye for an eye match.
Yeah, but that was bad. But anyway, I don't know. Like, it's just there's I think it's oversaturation with it. Like, I don't think that it should be a pay-per-view. That's silly to me. But whatever.
I think one of the biggest problems with Elimination Chamber, and everyone's talked about it, everyone and their mother, it's that the Elimination Chamber happening just before WrestleMania to determine a champion when you've already determined your number one contender using the Royal Rumble is a bit backwards, because the 5 other people in the chamber have the same opportunity a month earlier in the Rumble. Why are they given another opportunity now in the chamber?
Yeah, I agree. Like, they were both very good matches, like, overall. It's just like, having it as part of this Elimination Chamber thing doesn't add to me. It takes it away. Like I think that you could do something cooler. But
so where do you see Sami Zayn, of all people, going next? Because he had a fairly good showing in the match. He was one of the people that just kind of showed up and was part of it and didn't seem to have anything coming out of it. Whereas KO and Jey Uso seem to have something. Bryan obviously has something coming out of it. Cesaro even seems to have something coming out of it with Seth Rollins, and even potentially with Roman Reigns somewhere down the line. Where does Sami factor in? And Corbin's Corbin. He'll land anywhere he wants.
Yeah, they'll just keep using Corbin as, like, the douchebag. Sammy's still doing the documentary thing, I think, so that'll keep going. Who he's going to run afoul with that, I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying to think of decent opponents for him on SmackDown. I'm sure there's someone.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly where my head went too, right? Like,
doesn't work for me either. I
don't love it. And then I was like, well, it's going to be Dominic and Rey Mysterio, so we'll just wrestle them back and forth 100 times with tag partners and in 6-man tag matches. But
Sami and Dominic might be an interesting story to tell.
It might be, yeah. If you could extract Dominic from his family, I think that you could do something interesting there. It's just, how do we get there? I don't know. You brainstorm enough, you'll figure it out.
You have Sammy try to put a wedge between Dominic and Ray, and have Dominic come and join Sammy.
Yeah, do that.
Sammy is anti-QAnon, but QAnon on WWE programming.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Meanwhile, we had Roman and Bryan. Are they going to do it again at Fastlane? After Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I can see it be match? as a passing thing towards WrestleMania.
So backstage last week on SmackDown, you had Edge and Daniel Bryan in a little, face-to-face. And Edge was going around to everyone and kind of putting them over. But the Edge and Bryan one was very, very... It was a little bit more. It was the whole, because of you, I came back. Yeah. It would be an honor to face you. A lot of lip service being paid because the opportunity to do Bryan versus Roman was presenting itself, which they're now doing, and they're going to probably do it again. Mm-hmm. So I guess really, is there a world in which you could ever see Edge versus Daniel Bryan as the WrestleMania main event?
Yeah. How many days? Like we've got two papers. Like it's Fastlane and then WrestleMania, so we got 60 days.
Less than that. You've got about, I think it's 40.
See, that's a short. It feels like a lot of the WrestleMania builds are shorter than normal this year. Like I feel like we've radically shifted things aside from Randy and the Fiend just over this past weekend. Like it's crazy how much things have been upset, and I'm excited by that. I'm not opposed to it in any way. But yeah, you know what? Maybe it is Daniel Bryan Edge, because I would rather see that. My personal opinion. But
we're in a space where there's 3 weeks between each pay-per-view. It's a lot.
Yeah. But where does that leave Roman, who's got like the best written gimmick on TV right now?
Right. That's the big problem. You can't just have Roman drop it unceremoniously at a random Fastlane pay-per-view.
Exactly. So
that's like having Drew McIntyre drop the WWE Championship to a guy holding Money in the Bank. Like, who would do that?
That one makes sense to me, because Drew's been de facto carrying. I know he dropped it once to Randy, but he's been carrying that title for a long time. Like, he's had a great run.
I agree. You know who else is having a really great run right now? The Women's Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of play. They're on every show, wrestling everyone.
Crazy. And next week on NXT, it's going to be Shania Payne taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Okay. That could be the title change now that MSK versus Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan is off. What do you think? Is there room for 2 new NXT startups to take the Women's Tag Team Championships?
Absolutely. Like that, it's an absolute possibility. Like, I don't know for sure. I really like that's a match that I'm excited to see play out, because they could easily go either direction without any issues. So,
Nia Jax pinning Sasha and Asuka in the same week. What do you think? Is there any...
Seems like Nia might be dropping those tag titles and entering the main title picture, but I don't know. We might already have those set up, right?
And meanwhile, Reginald was involved, of course, in the finish on Sunday, leading to Nia getting that pin on Sasha Banks. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. Carmella's involved, and it's just a giant ruse.
Yeah, that could be it, right? Like, it's just misdirection, and we are going to get Bianca Sasha at WrestleMania.
Fine by me.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's, I don't know, throwing a triple threat on the way, Fastlane or something.
I would even have Carmella and Bianca have a one-on-one match for that title shot.
Yeah.
Give Banks a night off. Why not? Put her in a different match. Who knows? Yeah. A triple threat is just kind of, it's a little overplayed for me going into Mania.
Yeah.
I'd rather go for the spot. And also, Banks and Belair, that is WrestleMania Night 1 main event.
Yeah. And like, you could build it by having Bianca just be so confident, right, that she'd be willing to risk that shot against Carmella. And then she ultimately becomes victorious. But like, go in and just show, like, she's oozing confidence as it is. Just elevate that even further. Build that would carry her momentum into WrestleMania to like a massive scale.
Speaking of massive scales, we're trying to grow our brand and our product, so leave us a like. Subscribe to us over on youtube.com/TimandJoelPod, would you? And come and check us out every Sunday, PW Unlimited. It's usually around 4:30 p.m. Eastern our weekly draw series goes up. This week, TBD. Last week, pay-per-view predictions. Week before that, pay-per-view predictions. The week after this one, pay-per-view predictions. The week after that, it's probably another pay-per-view prediction because there's one every week at this point.
So many. So much wrestling.
Speaking of so much wrestling, over on Fightful Twitch every single Tuesday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern, I'm hosting the Impact Watch Along.
Whoa.
I'm excited because one day, Tim, you're going to join it.
One day.
One day. We know that Sacrifice on March 13th has a main event, and it's going to be Moose versus Rich Swann for the Impact World Championship, and the TNA title's been reinstated.
It's another title of questionable stature. Where does it fit into the... Is it above? Is it below? Like they're both like, top tier looking championships. So I don't know. I would put it above the Impact title, just saying, based on appearances alone.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Meanwhile, if it's going to be that mid-card type of thing, Jake Something just completely shined bright in his tables match earlier in the night, and then a showcase match taking on Moose at the end of the night. He looked great. It's about time. There's that one image going that he took out Moose during his entrance and just stood in that spotlight, and he looked like a star. I've been waiting for Jake Something.
Good. Same. I think he needs a better gimmick, but like he's still very he's a very good wrestler. I like him a lot. It's just I wish his name was something else.
I see what you did there.
It's a low bar.
I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually much happier with that than I am with him being Jake Diener.
Yeah.
Jake.
Agree. It's not anything. Like that's nothing. That's not a thing. No one would say that. No human being. Well, I guess one human being is. So I don't know. I'm just full of crap.
Well, I mean that's kind of true.
Yeah.
Jazz and Jordan Grace, they won the number one contendership match for the Knockouts tag titles, taking on Kimberly and Susan. This match, I guess they're going to do the number one. They're going to do the Knockouts tag title match at Sacrifice. They haven't announced it yet, but I see that.
Yeah, I see.
The whole story here is Jazz and Jordan Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for one of them to turn on the other. I'm waiting for that match to play out in a very big way. Do you have anything that comes out of that whole 4-person scenario I just laid out that makes more sense to you?
Nope. I see that happening. I see retention.
Who laid out ODB?
Ooh, that is a good question. Not sure.
You don't know?
You got any theories?
No, but sometimes Occam's razor. So for all we know, it could be Yana Peraza, which I can't remember if she had been thrown to the back yet. Regardless, there's a lot. Speaking of a lot, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Matt Cardona is a special guest referee. It's eye for an eye. It's not actually eye for an eye. I just wanted to say it because, Scott D'Amore is a crazy, crazy human being.
It's great.
And meanwhile, Finn Juice and the Good Brothers are coming. It's going to happen.
Yep.
The question is when. Did you see that backstage segment that they did, Finn Juice and the Good Brothers? I love it.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Calling them the best tag team at professional wrestling hungover.
Yeah.
And of course, as always, the TK paid ad.
Yeah.
Why was Ryan Nemeth there? I know why.
They brought in some guys to dunk on him. Why Ryan Nemeth? I don't know. Not really a guy who can dunk upon others.
I think it was just, I'm in this match on Dynamite, so here we go. Because he was going to face Mox, right? That was the actual reason. But I'm sitting there like, you could have put anyone else. Come on.
Yeah, because it seems like Ryan Nemeth might belong on Impact and as like a low-tier wrestler.
Oh, no.
Put him in a match against Johnny Swinger. That's where I see Ryan Nemeth being booked right now.
There's so many other people I could see taking on Johnny Swinger, and Ryan Nemeth is by far not high on that list.
It would be good, but it seems like a WrestleHouse booking.
Yes, it does. You know who else would have been really good in WrestleHouse? Cameron Grimes.
That would have been great. Oh my God. Did they give him 3 spots this week?
Yeah.
So much time. It was great every time. But
Ted DiBiase. He say his name 3 times, and I guess he'll appear next.
I guess we'll see him next week.
He could use some money.
Yeah.
Very, very big fan of those segments. Very funny. Can't really figure himself out with those Ted DiBiase videos. Goes and tries to challenge the second time. WNBA star who is now currently an NXT trainee. Her name is Enrielle Howard. Hilarious. She gets up. She's very tall. Cameron Grimes is not. And I saw it coming. I was just like, oh, she's gonna do the crossover. That's gonna be it. And when she says, oh, like Ted DiBiase, I was like, oh no, they all know it.
Yeah, they all know that it.
And of course, punching someone in the face to own Ted. Perfect.
Great. Effective.
That's how I take care of my problems. If I have a problem with you and you're not listening to me and you know something I don't know, I just punch you in the face.
Yep. And that's
and then
why you're not allowed to leave the province.
I think there are other reasons at play, but okay.
That too right now. I'm talking about in the normal times.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. I guess that's, absolutely. The Gargano's heading over to therapy. Are you excited are you excited? Because Indy Hartwell just thinks that Dexter Lumis is hot.
She's not wrong.
She's not. Dexter Lumis is a very, very good looking man. And she's a young woman. Yeah. She's able to take pride in her sexuality and into whoever she finds attractive. She should be able to own that. Austin Theory thinking he's not so bad after he may have been kidnapped by him is another question.
It sounds like he just had a good time.
Like maybe you want to have a good time. Look, I'm prepping for when we get ad reads, okay?
True.
No, but Theory, I like that they're at least playing him up as an extremely dumb human being.
It's very funny.
I'll take that. When they get into the ring and Theory goes to do his high five, but he goes the wrong way and then has to correct himself. It's like there's an imbalance going on and nobody knows why.
It's pretty good.
I want to know who's going to run the therapy. You can do Dr. Shelby, who did all the anger management stuff, but this isn't anger management. Or you get Dr. Bonetta from WWE Backstage on Fox, who did those therapy sessions with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Bayley, all those ones. What do you think? It's high comedy. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do anger management or do you want to do the other thing?
No, the other thing. The other thing I think makes sense. Be good.
Option 3, if he wasn't already in a main event storyline, have Kyle O'Reilly reprise his role as a therapist.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of which, Adam Cole punches Roddy Strong in the dick.
Straight in the dick. That was weird. He played the... He played the like, I'm sorry, pretty hard.
Like, you're an actor.
It's believable. I am not an actor.
But
Don't you call me that.
Actors.
I do know actors, yeah.
Do people act the way that the Undisputed Era did in that segment last night? Was it good acting?
I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was a little bit like telenovela, soap opera-y, but he seemed legitimately remorseful, and then he punched him square in the dick.
As one does. What about Roddy Strong? Now, what did you think of Roddy coming out and doing his promo?
He was less strong.
That is fair.
I'm also wondering, where the hell is Bobby Fish? And he's just like, he's going to wander back and everything's like gone to shit.
Just on fire.
Kyle O'Reilly's stroking out somewhere.
Oh, our friend Alex Pulaski from Fightful had posted something on Twitter about how he thinks that Adam Cole should have Bobby Fish side with him when he comes back.
Yeah.
And then I just replied, and then have Adam Cole look at Bobby Fish and be like, I have no idea who you are. I've never seen you in my life.
Have we met?
Walk away.
And then punch him in the dick.
Because everything's funnier when you punch someone in the dick.
Yeah. And
Finn
Balor's here involved.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Kyle O'Reilly is out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Is he actually hurt?
No, that's just the NXT thing. 4 to 6 weeks. So you have, I think it's 6 weeks until Mania. So you have a Mania week takeover. You can have Adam Cole win the NXT championship in, like, say 3 weeks, and then have a 3-week build to Mania takeover and do Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly for the title.
I mean, you gotta, right? Like, you're breaking up a big stable like this. That's where we're going.
And then you have Finn, and maybe you have our very favorite big baby-looking man from Austria who's looking to have his Florida vacation.
That'd be excellent too. There's a lot going on. We got some exciting NXT stuff coming. That's what I'm hearing.
I like that there's a lot going on. I like that Malcolm Bivens likes to go and lurk in the background of every single hospital or medical area of the NXT locker room. And the second someone's cleared, he pops up and says, "Hey, you want to fight my guy?"
I feel like that's very invasive. Like, isn't that a private kind of situation?
It's a pretty public area.
Yeah, I get. He was just sitting on like a table, eh?
No, he wasn't even sitting on a table. He was just ducked down, hood up, underneath the table. The second that Leon Ruff shook that doctor or that medical person's hand and that medical person left the screen, Bivens like pops up, takes the hoodie off, is like, "Hey, you want to fight my guy?"
It's weird. And then he didn't fight his guy.
He did. Kind of. He was supposed to.
Yeah.
He was supposed to. And then Swerve decided to get involved with the guy. The guy being Leon Ruff.
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm fine with it. I loved watching Swerve beat the shit out of him. Leon Ruff was looking great.
Yeah, it's good.
Even in beat.
Yeah.
So
Always.
I'm a big fan of that. Zoe Starks, Io Shirai, an excellent match.
So good.
Had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I think those two had some good chemistry. Not perfect because, again, Starks is still new. She's still learning. But Shirai carried perfectly. I was a big fan of the match.
Yeah, it was really good.
Any other thoughts from that one?
The match? No. Like, I mean, it's good to see them kind of... They have such a robust, like, group of wrestlers. They have so many opportunities, like, so many things that they can do for years to come. They've got so much talent in that institution. So...
Yes, and again with Shirai, listen, if you're going to get a big match out of anyone, it should be your women's champion. And on top of that, if you're going to try and make somebody, you put them in a match with your women's champion, and it's non-title. Next thing you know, the number one contender comes out and says, "Hey, give me a match," and champion's like, "Cool, yeah, let's fight."
Yep.
2 weeks from now, it's going to be Shirai and Toni Storm.
It's good.
And Stark looks great. They're going to keep building her. This is the way that you build talent when they're brand new, in my eyes.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's really well put together. And you know, having like that little segment with Regal was nice too, because it just explained everything in a cool way and it makes her, it again builds Zoe's profile. So
yeah, exactly. Speaking of stars and building, let's talk about Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
A great match with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross we knew was going to be the guy, but Santos Escobar just looked like the star, was the star, carried himself as a star. He looked great. Karrion Kross is fine. He's fine. Let him be the...
Yeah, he was fine. I'm glad this was like a street fight situation, because I think he's better in those types of environments. I'm glad they got him out of the title picture, but it's now awkward because of how they got him out of it. Like, you know, he gets hurt. He's like, "I'm coming right back," and then he doesn't come right back. So I feel like that's a thread hanging loose, but we'll forget about it over time.
I think they'll be coming back for it sooner than we think. And you know, again, I like the idea of Kross being a murderous tweener, kind of going after anyone who's wronged him. Therefore, they're in the wrong. But yeah, like I want to see Escobar get into really big things because he deserves them. Bigger, better things moving forward. Get the Cruiserweight Championship off of him. I would even say, if there's a way to do it, have him gift it to one of the members of Legado del Fantasma. And just be like, "This is yours now. Go and defend it." And let that be it. Or do this. I don't want to do the finger poke of doom because that kind of cheapens things. But if there's a way to do it where you can get that Cruiserweight Championship off of Escobar, but still make him look strong, I'm into it.
Yeah, because he's like a great match, and like he's just built really, really well. And he's got, you know, he's got goons. Everyone with goons is cool.
Hired goons.
And like Kross having to fight, like beat them up all along the way was also pretty entertaining. So very pleased with that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the MSK segment, the one that they ran was very, very good, very relatable. I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of telling the story of who MSK are as human beings, telling their backstory. You know, Nash Carter having lost his dad about a year before he signed NXT, and just everything that came with that moment of winning the Dusty Cup. I like that they're giving a little bit of context to MSK as a unit and as individuals. Meanwhile, Wesley is now injured, so that's a thing.
Told you.
We're gonna put off the title match.
I told you they were going to hurt themselves.
Well, it's not real, but it's fake injury. Grizzled Young Veterans came in, took them out, and next thing you know, we're gonna have to wait for the big moment for MSK. I get it. I'm not against the idea of having MSK wait a little while longer, tell their story a little bit further, and then give them that big championship moment. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. Like, you got to make some room just to tell some other stuff, and this is a pretty okay way to do that.
A pretty okay way to support us is to click like on this video and to subscribe to us over at timandjoelpod.com or streamlabs.com/timandjoelpod. Leave us some tip jar love.
Do it.
Because we love to see your tip jar.
Yeah.
Like, we love to see it full. That's what we do. We want to fill the jar with tips, because when we get the tips, we get to make ourselves look better. And, so SmackDown's tomorrow night. There isn't much announced right now. Just post-chamber shenanigans.
Yeah.
Edge is going to face Roman Reigns.
What?
Edge is going to... not literally tomorrow
Okay,
night.
not wrestle.
At WrestleMania, it'll be Edge versus Roman Reigns. They're advertised to face off.
Ooh, face off. Like, they're rebooting Face Off. Maybe, and Edge is now an actor. Well, with Money Plane. And
Hold on. Yes, thank you. I was going to say, he did many things before Money Plane. By the way, Money Plane's really good. No, but the rest of it.
Anyway, maybe the Face Off. Anyway, this is a long way to go. I don't care anymore. They're going to fight. Seth Rollins is going to be out there in some crime against fashion again this week, I'm sure.
Do you think the Seth Rollins vision will continue to take shape?
Yeah, he'll continue to come out and be annoying, and hopefully someone will go smack him around.
What do you think his attire will look like this week?
I don't know, something with tiger stripes, perhaps.
Oh, that's wonderful. I want to see him wear the same material or color coordinated suit that's similar to what Cesaro wore at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
I want to see that pattern in
that could be pretty abrasive in like larger format. It was a statement in trunks, so a suit might be a lot. You know what? Maybe he goes back to Rey Mysterio and we get a full Louis Vuitton suit. Yeah, I've already spoken about how much I hate that pattern on this show, so let's just blow it up. Louis Vuitton versus Louis Vuitton. Yeah, it's a status symbol, which again is like shamelessly saying that you're a bad person.
I mean, kind of.
Whatever, man. They just whatever. They won't even use minimum wage. I don't care. Whatever.
I assume we'll see an update on Big E.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Yeah.
Considering the medical jargon that they used to take him out last week. Something
with the thesaurus.
There's a doctor somewhere who was like, "Oh, use these words. These are good." And the WWE community
every
like,
bloody time. Like, it's just you don't have to do it this hard, y'all.
No, you do. It gives a little. It's sincere. It gives
legitimacy. You think it gives it legitimacy? Because every time they use some ridiculous diagnosis, I'm like, yeah, that's a fake injury.
I went for authenticity, but you had to go for legitimacy in wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of legitimacy, I foresee Tamina winning another match.
Okay.
I hope.
To what end?
To what end? To the point where she wins the women's championship.
Nah, maybe her and Natalya get tag championship at some point, but that's as high as she's going.
I am all about Tamina winning a women's tag team championship in my time.
Cool.
She deserves it. Hall of Fame.
It'll be a dully written run, I can tell you that much.
Why
I feel for her. I don't. They just don't know how to write her.
She's been with the company for like 40 years.
Exactly.
Oh, God. We love you, Tamina. I hope you listen to the show.
Yes.
It's not me saying bad things.
It's not bad things about her. It's how they treat her.
Okay. I don't know. That's all I've got. My notes are at the end. I've taken it too far. Is there anything else from the week that you want to touch on, that you want to talk about, that you want to give shit about?
No.
Wow, that sounded very official.
episode over.
Tell the kids where they can find you on the internet.
That's below my name, Tim Stone P. Below my name, below my face. Tim Stone P. TIMB. STONEP on Twitter.
Everybody go follow Tim. He's a good follow. And he just wants nice people to follow him so he can banter with you like I do. Yeah, that's the face you make. You can find the show over at Tim and Joel Pod. You can find us timandjoelpod.com, youtube.com/timandjoelpod, obviously. And we're still on, we still do this as an audio show. Don't know why, but here we are. So wherever you get your podcasts, you're probably listening to us in one or different shapes and forms and formats and whatever. And you can find me at all forms of social media at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl. Turn that frown upside down, Tim.
I had an echo this whole time.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. That's the theme, though.
I didn't know, and it was easily fixed. Anyway,
Well,
cool.
We'll fix it.
Listen to the podcast. Stop watching us. Just listen to the podcast.
Please keep watching us. We love it when you're here.
Yeah, we do. Anyway.
Meanwhile, until then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, enjoy your professional wrestling, and we'll see you on Sunday on PW Unlimited for the weekly draw. And again, back here, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern for Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring. We'll see you then.